Okay, so now we're in our second phrase for our first position lower octave, and it's going to be like this. That's it. That's the phrase. Okay, it's pretty exciting. This is, I've seen Eric Clapton 3 times, and every time when he opens a show, he comes out, he just does this. He does that for like 2 minutes straight, you know, as the band climbs on stage. And so anyway, there's a lot of suspense. It's definitely an action phrase, and it's just one finger, and it's the second finger. You're gonna hammer it. You're gonna play the open 4 string actually, and then you're gonna hammer that 4 string with the second finger onto the 2nd fret. So it's, and then you got to pull off. That's it. Remember what I told you in the beginning about pull-offs? You got to actually kind of pull down to the floor. So you don't want to just come clean off like this. But you got to pull. That's going to really give you that. It could take a while to really get that sound, but it's just a constant digging. You're pulling off, you're almost like plucking the string down. I want you to think of it as just plucking that string down. It may take you a while to sound awesome at this, but just start the process. Give yourself a few months to get used to this phrase, but I'm just going to teach it to you right now. So let's jump in. I'm going to teach it to you in context. Not a whole lot to it. That's it. Okay. Let's try this. Now you're going to repeat after me. Okay. Okay, that's the idea. Obviously, this is a nice phrase by itself. It just begs to be played along with something. So it's not an introductory phrase. It's more of just something that is into the flow of the song. Okay, it could be a nice ambient phrase. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, if you want to listen to songs like Little Wing and maybe Riviera Paradise, he does some nice hammers just like this. Anyway, when you're ready, I'll see you at the next lesson and we'll work on the next phrase. So now we're at phrase 3 with your first position lower octave, and it's like this. Again. That's the idea. Okay, so we're going to start with a nice choke. And I'm going to do this choke with the 3rd finger, even though it's on the 2nd fret, and you may be used to playing the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, but let's do it with the 3rd finger, and that will allow you to get behind it with the 2nd finger. Make sure you go up to your thumb. Choking this close to the nut is actually very difficult, and it's going to require a lot of power and control. So believe me when I'm telling you, you're going to definitely want to reinforce that choke with at least 2, if not 3 fingers. So you're just going to choke that 2nd fret, 3rd string. You're going to choke it up with your 3rd finger, reinforcing with your 2nd and 1st. Now bringing it up into a full choke, and then down into a pull off, and it's like, okay. You may not sound super clean at first with this. You can hear the, you hear that open G, that open third string. But at first it could sound a little rougher, like maybe this. You heard like a couple of strings. That's fine. Remember, all the open strings are going to work in this position. So if you're jamming to the song and you pull down and you catch a couple of strings, that's cool. It's going to work to your advantage. So you're going to end with the second finger landing on the 4th string 2nd fret. So you're going to choke that 3rd string 2nd fret, pull it off to the open, and then end with that 2nd finger on the 2nd fret 4th string. Now I'm getting a little creative with that choke. You can get kind of mournful. Yeah, so that's extra credit. That's not the actual phrase. But remember, your goal is to learn these phrases and be able to do whatever you want with them. So this is an opportunity to embellish on something or expound on it. There's a cool direction you could take it here if you want. But let me play this with the backing track. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, now when you're ready, we're going to try a repeat after me. Okay, so we're going to try this repeat after me. I'm just going to play it a couple of times and you can jump in to get that interactive vibe. I love it. It's very masculine, kind of like a cowboy phrase, perhaps. Okay, so work with that, memorize it, learn it up and down. When you're ready, I'll see you at the next lesson. Okay, so now we're in our 4th phrase of our 1st position lower octave, and it's going to go like this, starting with a big choke. Again. Remember to check those tabs. Hopefully you printed them out. And we're talking about the 4th phrase. You're going to put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string, and you're going to choke that. Again, it's really hard to choke this close to the nut, so you're really going to have to press in with a couple of fingers. A lot of students are really surprised at how hard it is to choke this close to the nut. But this is a very cool position, the 1st position, and I'd like you to get comfortable with it. The chokes, the open strings, just that lowness of it, and it almost sounds like an acoustic when you're playing all these open strings and doing these hammers and big fat chokes. But anyway, we're here with the 2nd string 3rd fret, 3rd finger, we're going to choke up, and then play the open 1st string. So it's, and then play the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret 1st string, and then end with the open. So it's just 4 notes. Again, it's, that's it. It's a cool phrase. So let's play it in context to the song, okay? A lot of these phrases, I'm asking you to create phrases. You should be continuously creating new phrases, continuously playing the full scale to the song, and then incorporating in my ideas as well. So hopefully you're remembering to do that and you have a steady diet of working on it. But while you're writing your own phrases, maybe you're going to be kind of surprised at how incomplete my phrases sound. But you're going to realize how awesome they sound when you put them all together in context with a song. And so let that be encouraging to you. A lot of people, they feel discouraged because when they go to make phrases, they feel like they're not good enough. They're not fancy enough. They're not polished enough. They're just these little tidbits of notes that we're putting together in clumps that we feel like they're working, okay? And as you add to the length of a phrase and you make it a bigger and bigger concept, it can be something that sounds massive and complex and deep and intricate, like, you know, something from Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix or Eric Clapton, where it's just a big fat run. But that started with small building blocks. So really trying to get you comfortable with the idea of just putting a few notes together and making them yours and putting your unique spin on it. That's what you need to do for playing. So let's give it a try. That's it, pretty straight up, okay? Work on that for a while. If you want, you can join me and practice with a repeat after me. So we're gonna jump into that. Okay, that's pretty straight up. Okay, have fun with that, and when you're ready, I'll see you at the next lesson. Okay, so now we're at our 5th phrase, 1st position lower octave. So it's, again, this is a great like cowboy kind of sounding, cowboy chord sounding phrase. We're gonna play with the 6th string open, and then put the 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, and then play the open 6th string again, and then put the 1st finger or 2nd finger on the 2nd fret 4th string. So it's, that's what we're doing. Okay. No fancy hammers or pull-offs or chokes or slides, just. But the cool effect with this one is the use of the open string. It gives you that big, fat, bony sound that's just so unique. Okay, you want that. Okay, if you want to throw some vibrato on the last note, it can't hurt. Okay, let me show you the context. Not that impressive by itself, but you put it together with some other phrases, it sounds pretty cool. Okay? All right, now we're going to do a repeat after me section. So you've practiced this phrase, you can do it rather quickly, and now we're going to try it back to back. Here we go. So work on that. Notice that I'm doing it and I'm coming in at various points in the rhythm. I'm syncing to the rhythm and I'm coming in with the rhythm. That's nice to be able to do that, and I just want you to consider that. Eventually, as you get better, your playing is going to become more and more rhythmical. You may wonder why I even chose this track for us to work with, and it's because it's so slow and kind of even monotonous that it just sets a nice steady platform for you to you can go crazy over it, and it doesn't interfere with your ideas too much. Okay. It's also good to just keep playing to this track. By now you may be starting to get bored of this track. We're like halfway through the course and I'm still using the same track, but this is very deliberate and it's on purpose. I chose this track to help you play because it's very smooth and monotonous, and it doesn't have aggressive ups and downs and distracting drums or busy rhythms that are going to mess you up. Okay, so it's just laying down a very consistent foundation. Okay, in a future course I'm going to do something where I'm going to take you through many different tracks and keys and styles and rhythms and grooves. But right now you're just trying to get started with the idea of improvising and learning, and you want something very familiar. So at the risk of getting bored, or you may already be bored, but the risk of boring you, I went ahead and just stuck with this track for all the reasons I just laid out. So if you can, just try to stick with this and just trust me, you're going to want something very easy to digest with your first go round in terms of improvising until you get through all 8 positions. Okay, so enjoy this. I'll see you over at the next video. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play all 5 phrases in the first position lower octave back to back. And this is just me demoing these phrases to you because I want you to practice like this. So you're just going to practice, you're going to memorize these phrases, and you're just going to start practicing back to back with the track. So I'm going to demonstrate this. This is how I want you to practice. Watch me and then go ahead and try it on your own with the track. Okay? All right, notice there was a flow there. Those 5 phrases, man, they just flow together and they just have a nice, it's like a nice part of a lead section that you could obviously just borrow that and use that in your playing. But you see the theme of the way I'm putting these phrases together. They all kind of, one note leads to the next, and hopefully you're learning from that. Okay, so now I'm going to do another video and I'm going to randomize these phrases. Okay, so check this out. I'm just going to randomize them. Again, I want you practicing at home, randomizing these phrases as well. So here's an example of me randomizing the phrases. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I made that video kind of short, but I am kind of limited in what I can do. I've only taught you a few phrases, and it is on a very specific spot of the neck. So I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to work on the next exercise.